He is what's known as a yellow-tailed trigo. And to those of you who might not be as familiar with snakes, many times these creatures, they might appear to be cold or even slimy. And like all reptiles, they are cold-blooded, but that doesn't mean that they're always cold. It really just means they take on the temperature of their environment. So on a warmer day like today, this snake actually feels quite warm to the touch. And as for them being slimy, snakes actually don't have any sort of need to be slimy, so they're not. Snakes are actually very dry creatures. Many snakes like this guy here, they do have these smooth scales that at a distance kind of shimmer and they might appear to be slimy. But many others actually have a ridge or a keel that are a giant scale, so they can actually feel quite abrasive to the touch. Probably the best way to describe what a snake like this guy actually feels like is he kind of feels like a linoleum tile. If you guys are familiar with one of those. Then you might also notice, from time to time, this snake is going to be using that forked tongue of his there and sticking it in and out of the air. Now, he's not being rude. All he's doing is he's smelling his environment. What many snakes and lizards will do is they'll use that forked tongue to collect particles from the air, which they then bring back to a special organ in their upper jaw, known as the Jacobson's organ. And that organ is going to work a lot like their sense of smell, and it's probably the most important sense to a snake, especially when it comes to hunting and identifying food. They'll tend to trust that sense above all their others. And then once this little guy here, once he does find his prey,
Oh my.
This next snake I have for you guys, he is just a little bit larger. But this big guy here, he is what's known as a Burmese python. And he's what would be considered to be one of the true giants of the snake world. The true giants, they're going to be like this Burmese python here, as well as the anaconda in South America, the reticulate python in Southeast Asia. All these snakes here, their reach length about 20 to 25 feet long. And they'll actually end up weighing more than 200 pounds. So this big snake here, he's also going to be a constrictor. So what that means when he hunts, first thing he's going to do is he's just going to simply strike out, grab hold of the animal he wants to kill. He's going to quickly throw his coils around that creature. And that generally happens so fast that it's just a blur. Then once he has that animal coiled, he's then going to begin to tighten. And every time that creature exhales or lets out a little air, this snake is going to tighten again. You're going to do that so the prey creature can no longer inhale. It's actually going to die of suffocation. So many people, they mistakenly believe that constriction is this bone-crushing process when it really isn't. When you actually look at the kills made by these snakes, very rarely do you find any broken bones at all. It is typically just that suffocation that kills that animal. And then once the prey is dead, then comes the task of swallowing it. Because snakes, they have no limbs, teeth are actually very needle-like, curved backwards. So what that means is they really don't have any way to tear up their food or even chew it. They have to swallow whatever it is they want to eat whole. But the skin allows them to stretch. And since most snakes, they do actually have a very elastic skin, they can typically swallow